Perfect. So, hi everybody. As we know, you're probably all here today because you want to find a good way to monitor humira in blood patient. And you know what? We got the solution for you. As we know, rheumatoid arthritis is a growing issue in today's society that affects a lot of different stakeholders. In our side, the most important of them is directly the patient itself. This one is mostly affected by the disease, by the fact that he's suffering from the disease and he's suffering from its side effects. But also, there's another major problem: the lack of specialized caregiver that are available to help him. Also, as we know, most part of the special caregiver are located in the city and therefore far away from rural areas. By being that far away from rural areas, they restrict the access for a lot of patients to the help that they will need to treat the disease. In the other end, we have the professional, that is the other stakeholder that is really important for us. This one, in fact, is affected by the disease by needing to treat the decline as best as possible. On the other side is, in fact, there's really two main problematic that affect him. The first one is that you do not have enough data to relate on to be able to prescribe the right dosage and right medication to the patient. The other one is also really important, is that you do not have enough objective, the word objective here is really important, objective data to relate on, again, to prescribe the right dosage and medication. On our end, we decided to create an innovative biosensor that will be able to calculate the concentration of humira in the blood patient in less than 4 minutes. This one is really special because it's portable. What I mean by portable is that we decided to take the cell phone to match it with the biosensor and to link it within the application on the cell phone. It's really small and it can be used either at the patient home or at the professional office. This means that it's going to be possible for them to obtain more data in between the meeting with the professional and the patient. Also, because we decided it was portable, we decided to make it really easy and small, so everyone can use it. Your grandmother can use it, and your son can use it, in fact. And the fact that it's linked directly to your cell phone, it's really less expensive to create.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. I'll now talk about the more financial part of our business plan. We all know that sales is a really important aspect of a business success. So we are planning on increasing our market parts until we reach around 15% of the whole market within 10 years. This growth is sustained by a hybrid strategy, which is direct sales and also leases. We plan on sustaining this growth by submitting competitive call for tenders, which are by meeting the various requirements and certification that most buyers seeks. And then we want to have a good relationship with those new partners by delivering quality products and respecting the delays. On the future, we want to have international sales, so we're relying on a partnership with our government to do that. On the pricing sides, we made some research and found that around $13 billion could be saved if we were to use a more fast and reliable treatment. So we calculated the cost of the treatment for each patient, and it's around $16,000 that could be saved if they were to adopt our device. So that's really important to remember. And then with this knowledge and other assumptions and a personalized approach, we set on giving a price that is really appropriate for profit maximization. On the other end, we also know that it's not only about increasing sales that matters for stakeholder profitability, it's also about minimizing the costs. So we calculated, we summed up the raw material, workforce, and indirect costs to calculate the cost of production for both the device and the chips, which is around $824 for the device and $650 for each chips. We are also planning on monitoring those costs by economies of scales on raw material, usage of an incubator on the early years, which will be free in Canada, and also offering internships to students for good labor. Just quickly, we also need to take in care of the indirect costs, so we want to justify those costs and monitor them as well. So finally, I just want to leave you with this graphic that shows the net profit that we're planning on making for the 3 next years. You see that after 3 years, we're about $17 million in profit, and we are planning on increasing that to over 50 million within 8 years. So I would like to thank you, everyone. I would like also to thank our sponsors. So yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, do you guys have any questions for us? We also want to maybe tell you guys that we have a whole business plan. So if you guys want to have a look, it's here. So I will be pleased.
Hi, I'm Luc de Rijks. I'm a hospital pharmacist, clinical pharmacologist, and I'm the one giving the dosing advices to the physicians when the levels come to our pharmacy. And it's really sometimes a hustle, especially in rural areas, to get drug concentrations. So I love your solution of connecting a sensor to a mobile device for detection, the speed of this fully automated and direct communication with a healthcare professional, which makes it a promising tool, I guess, for therapeutic drug monitoring, especially in remote areas, like I said. But I have some doubts about user convenience, especially in rheumatoid arthritis patients, who has very frequently very rigid fingers. So could you comment on that in connecting the device to the sensor, which is a small sensor, really?
In fact, it's not that small. It's really. In fact, it's not that small. The sensor is about that tall. It's just use enough. You just need to clip your cell phone in it. So everyone, you just need to put the dip of the blood, and then you can click to look at your result. But if you don't really want to take a look at your result, you don't really need to. The medicine will, the doctor will directly receive everything. Everything is going to be made like that.
Okay, so you don't have to. You clip it. You only have to clip it on. That's it.
So you take the cell phone. You need to connect the cell phone. In fact, can you go back 2 slides, please? Just before, the one before. Okay. So in fact, we just need to put a cell phone. Oh yeah, for sure. So in fact, you just need to put your cell phone connecting to the device, and it's going to be directly linked. So you don't really need to fix it properly. We're for sure we're working on it right now because right now it's a bit more complicated than that. But in the moment we will be able to put it into market, we want it to be only like directly putable on the device.
Okay.
I might just add that we'll run through many research and development phases where we will implement other specifications for that to be possible.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the jury? Mercedes, any chance?
Yeah, actually. So as a VC, I'm thinking for 40 million in the second year, I have to be there. Okay, so from my perspective, that seems slightly unrealistic. Can you sort of convince me again why 40 million Canadian dollars is a realistic revenue in 2 years?
Okay, so basically, 40 million is after 8 years of growth. That will be when we reach our full potential market power, which is 15% of the Canadian market.
Yeah, but it's the second year that you bring the device to
market.
No,
this is for the first year. This is the second year. This is the third year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, for the third year, we're planning on having for the first semester, we have 3% of the market power. And then for the second semester, it's 5%. And we took the numbers of patients in Canada, and we did our calculation, and that's about what would be the profit with the numbers of sales we would be making, and approximately margins on how much are margins? But good margins on both sales of the tester and the chips.
And who's your main client? Who's going to buy this?
Also, our main clients would be distributors from the Quebec region, first of all, because we're from there, we're from Montreal. And we would seek partnership with them, and they will be distributing our product to the hospitals. We also plan on doing the private sectors, but after being more strong with our distribution, with those public clients, because they are the main suppliers for those devices in Quebec.
So how many distributors have you spoken to?
We didn't really spoke with a lot of distributors, to be honest, because they're pretty hard to reach. Honestly, to really reach them, we need to apply with a whole business plan, which we have, but we didn't went through there. We talked with people that were working in distribution, but not directly with the people that are making the call for tenders, right? So they explained us how it went to be able to get through there, to be able to have a supplier distributing your product.
Okay.
In fact, if I can rapidly add something as those numbers. In fact, what we did, we find the number of patients that will be affected by the disease in the next 5 years. So 2020 to 2025. It's number that government of Canada can give us. So we have those numbers. We made an approximation of the growth of the patient each years. And with this number, we decide that we will be able to reach about 3% and 5% in 3 years of the market. And by doing this, we were able to find how much exactly client will be able to reach and how much sale we will be able to provide.
All right, are there any other questions from other jury members? Over there?
In your document, you say that you have FDA and CE, for instance, certification pending or starting, and you indicate timelines between January 2020 and 2022, which coincides with your year 1 and 2. How can you explain to me at what speed you can get your certification done?
Well, we elaborated an action plan in our business plan, where we plan on obtaining those certification within 2 years.
But you have sales before that.
Oh no, we sales for first year, we don't have sales for first year. I think we don't have sales either for the first semester of the second year. These amounts comes from there's a lot of subsidies in Canada, so we're seeking them. This is why we have this is why we have like a small amount that's there, because since we don't have a lot of costs, since we are in the incubator, we just don't really have anything to, not much expenses to take care.